All right, welcome to the Grizzled Geek in review for 3/29/19. I'm Doug.
I'm Kirsten.
And Mike is at Adepticon. So hopefully next week we'll get some news from Adepticon. But he's out, so no small stories this week, just 4 big ones. Well, and an extra bonus
tidbit.
feature. So first up, Avengers Endgame, of course. We're a month away, and we're getting a lot of new stuff for it.
Yeah.
We got the new Avenge the Fallen posters, which by now probably everyone has seen.
Yeah.
But they do confirm a few things that we didn't know for sure, but had already been talked about. One, we know for sure that Valkyrie, Pepper Potts, Happy Hogan, and Wong are all still alive post-snap. Who we didn't know about before is Shuri. Unfortunately, she fell victim to the snap. So she is gone. We also found out that Kevin Feige, I'm sure he didn't come up with this by himself, has renamed the first 3 phases of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as the Infinity Saga.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, cool. They all dealt with the Infinity Gems in one
way or another.
One way or the other.
Yeah.
What this does maybe imply is that the next phases won't involve the gems, or at least they won't be as significant a portion. You know,
Right.
So we'll see how that goes. And finally, with Avengers Endgame, we may have got the runtime for Avengers Endgame based on AMC briefly putting up how long it would be on one of their, like early buy tickets kind of promotions. 3 hours and 2 minutes.
You know, they probably threw it up and was like, it's what we do all the time. And someone was like, what did you
No,
just
wait,
do?
put that down.
Wait, why was it supposed to do that?
Yeah, so if that was accurate, 3 hours and 2 minutes.
One
which
could only hope.
I'm fine with.
Yeah.
I don't care. There were a lot of stories floating around that the Russos actually considered putting an intermission in the movie. So
That would be kind of cool.
The articles didn't necessarily make it sound like that was definitely not happening, but it's been a long time since anybody has done it, so I'd be up for that. That'd be cool.
It would be nice to get
especially
up.
if it was at a cliffhanger.
Oh my god, I would
like,
die.
boom, and everybody's like, "Oh gosh!"
No one would
You know,
want to
like
leave their
15
seat.
So that'd be cool. I'm looking forward to it.
In Shazam, it's kind of in a weird place right now. It's tracking the lowest opening weekend for DCFU movie and is on a spot currently held by Aquaman, but it's also outgrossed Aquaman in sneak preview showings, with Aquaman now the highest grossing DCFU film to date. What does that mean for Shazam? Well, they're probably going to get their 3rd hit for DCFU and most positive reviews and a 92% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes. That's pretty impressive.
So yeah, it's doing really well critically right now. I think the embargo has been lifted now, so you can go and actually watch at least non-spoilery reviews all over YouTube. But yeah, previous to this, I didn't know this. I didn't know that stat that Aquaman had the weakest opening weekend for any DC movie.
I would have assumed that it would have done really well, right?
Yeah. It did obviously do well at the end, but it was on positive word of mouth.
Sure.
So again, now we're seeing Shazam might be in that place.
Sure.
But if that follows trend, it's going to do really well. I think it'll have lots of positive word of mouth.
Yeah.
The more and more I see about it, because at first I was like, I don't know. The Big Red Cheese has never been one of my favorite DC characters. Yeah. But the more I see, I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Right.
I mean, it's a Guardians type feel.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you got to have your lighthearted movie in this. True. Especially the way the DC universe started, you got to kind of wrap it up. Although this is the last movie in the DC. Everything else is unconnected.
What?
Yeah. No, I mean, they haven't said that they won't come back to the shared universe concept, but everything going forward, including the next Wonder Woman movie, including probably the next Aquaman movie, have nothing to do with the other movies, which is very disappointing. They're overcorrecting.
Yeah.
But who knows? All right, back over to Marvel. This is a very interesting story. I hadn't even heard this as a rumor, but Angelina Jolie is set to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe in Marvel's The Eternals.
Interesting.
Which is a movie that I was like, I don't care about I mean, I read the Eternals in the late 80s, 90s, and they're really just very vanilla. Now, I was getting them at the end of the run, not back, when Kirby was in it. So if they embrace Kirby-esque type stuff, maybe they can go someplace cool like we had with Ragnarok. But yeah.
Right.
So anyways, while there's no specific word on who she's going to play, there's only one logical choice, which is Cersei. Mm-hmm. She's the only major, that I'm aware of, the only major female Eternal. Mm. There's not a lot. There's like dozens of Eternals, but only like 4 or 5 of them are any major concern. So there's, also no other casting news, although it had been rumored that the Eternals might feature the first openly gay male superhero lead.
Cool.
So while that could still happen, as kind of co-leads, we don't know that that's been backed away from or what they're going to do with that.
Right.
But it is set to start production later this year. So that probably means a 21 release. So, all right.
And the new Twilight Zone, hosted by Jordan Peele, is set to debut on CBS All Access next week, April 1st. The show will combine new episodes with reimaginings of the classic episodes, including Adam Scott of Parks Recreation fame and in Nightmare at 3,000 feet. Sorry. The classic episode is based on Nightmare at 20,000 feet. Starring William Shatner.
Yeah, so the classic like Gremlin on a plane kind of one, where William Shatner's freaking out.
Right.
Adam Scott is recreating that with Nightmare at 30,000 feet, so they just up the feet by 10,000. But I watched the preview for this, and I was like, I didn't even know this is a thing, and this looks awesome.
Okay.
I mean, I've not really watched like Black Mirror or any of that kind of stuff, but when I was a kid, I loved the Twilight Zone.
Same, yeah.
And they're bringing it back. Jordan Peele's the host, so he's taking the Rod Serling.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, it looks really good. And I'm like, I don't want to buy CBS All Access, but I might have to get it just to get this, and then kind of go, okay, I'm done.
Right.
Because there's nothing else on there I care about.
No.
But wow, I was really very excited about it. You definitely go watch it. I'll try and remember to include a link to the preview in here, but it's easy to find on YouTube. So and you have one other.
So just because I have a personal fandom towards it, Borderlands just believe it was by South by Southwest just released yesterday a teaser trailer, and it kind of just a whole bunch of models came up. Very artistically, and some people were concerned, myself among them, that it was going to be another battle royale. Today we got a confirmation that it is not. It is officially Borderlands 3. So we are getting a Borderlands 3, cool. And it's been a long time waiting. Finally ready for it. So
cool. I have to admit, I've never played any of the Borderlands games, so I don't know. So I like role playing games. And for the longest time, I wouldn't play shooter games. I was not interested. And then I played Mass Effect. So I'm like, oh, maybe this is something I could go back and
It's really good.
Into.
And they even have like a DLC where it's a little girl doing a D&D campaign, and your characters are playing what she's saying and describing. It's very fun. Anywho. All right.
Nice. All right. Well, that'll do it for the news this week. Like I said, Mike's out in Adepticon, so expect some Adepticon news. Next week we can travel back in time, so we'll hook that up. No, so if you would please like, share, subscribe. That's the other one. Yep. Check out our links in the description down below, ways you can support us. Check out our second channel, the Grizzled War Master, if you're interested in gaming stuff. Hopefully I'm going to be coming up with some Battletome reviews very soon on there. And we'll be starting an Instagram for that, with Mike's stuff from Adepticon being the first things to go up. So thank you very much for tuning in. Have a good evening.